Now, I generally do not cover Pacific hurricanes, but for this system, I'm going to make an exception because there's not very much going around in the Atlantic Basin, and this is the thing that's really catching my eye at this point. And not only that, after this thing makes landfall in Mexico, it's going to impact the United States in some way. So I figured I'm going to go ahead and cover this. So anyway, this is Tropical Storm Pamela. Get familiar with it because we're going to be covering this for a little while. So we're going to go ahead and go to the advisory right here. I just took a quick read of it. So, yeah, I can't really pronounce any of these names right here, of these provinces right here. So, for this part, I'm just going to go ahead and go to the cone and talk to you guys about it. If you're down in Mexico and you live in these provinces that are listed on the excuse me, if they are listed on the advisory right here, yeah, please feel free to just, you know, we'll get to that in a second. So yeah, this is the cone right here. It's expected to become a hurricane, then expected to strengthen to a major hurricane by tomorrow, and then make landfall as a Category 3 with winds of 120 miles per hour. There's a hurricane watch in effect for parts of western Mexico right here, tropical storm watch for parts right here, as well as parts of Baja California. So, yeah, again, I can't really pronounce some of this because I'm not used to covering hurricanes that make landfall in Mexico. I am usually used to covering U.S. weather, so I know my geography right there in the United States and parts of Canada and everything. But here, I can't really pronounce this, so if you live in these so I'm going to go ahead and highlight these. If you live in these provinces right here, this is where you're in a tropical storm watch right here. Also, anyone who speaks Spanish and can understand English, please feel free to translate this video and some subtitles. It'd be much appreciated so that we can get your message across to other non-English speakers. So, yeah, there it is. This is the Hurricane Watch. This is the provinces right here. I have it highlighted right there. I can't really pronounce this. That's why I'm doing that. Otherwise, I just read it out loud. So, anyway, a hurricane warning or a tropical storm warning will likely be required tonight for portions of the current watch areas by this afternoon or evening. For storm information in your specific area, please monitor products issued by your National Meteorological Service. So, yeah, be careful about if you're down there in Mexico. Be sure to seek local guidance and everything on how you want to prepare. If they tell you to evacuate, evacuate. If they tell you to shelter in place, shelter in place. So, there it is. At 12 p.m. At 12 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, or 1800 UTC, the center of Tropical Storm Pamela was located near latitude 16.8 degrees north, longitude 108.2 degrees west. Pamela is moving towards the northwest near 6 miles per hour, so this is a pretty slow-moving system, and this general motion is expected to continue today. A turn towards the north is forecast to continue occur tonight into Tuesday, followed by a faster northeastern motion by Tuesday night. On the forecast track, Pamela will pass south of the southern tip of Baja California Peninsula on Tuesday at night or early Wednesday and make landfall on the west central mainland of Mexico Wednesday morning. Maximum sustained winds have increased to near 70 miles per hour with higher gusts. That's up from 65 in the last advisory. Steady to rapid strengthening is forecast, and Pamela is expected to become a hurricane by tonight. It could actually become a hurricane by the next advisory, which would be at 3 o'clock Mountain Daylight Time. And a major hurricane on Tuesday. Pamela is forecast to remain a major hurricane until it makes landfall. On Wednesday, we discussed this in the cone. Tropical storm force winds extend out 70 miles from the center. It's kind of funny, honestly, because it's the tropical, like the winds have increased to 70 miles per hour, and they extend 70 miles out from the center. Yeah, I shouldn't really be joking about that, but yeah, pressure is down to 992. It was 995 last advisory. Hazards affecting land, wind. Pamela Pamela is expected to bring hurricane conditions, and those are possible within the hurricane watch area by late Tuesday, with tropical storm conditions possible by Tuesday afternoon. Tropical storm conditions are possible in the tropical storm watch areas by Tuesday afternoon. The rainfall expected to be 4 to 8 inches in the Mexican states of Sinaloa and western Durango, which I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, so I'm sorry if I'm not doing that. I'm doing the best I can. They're expected to get 4 to 8 inches with isolated amounts of 12 inches possible. This could trigger significant and life-threatening flash flooding and mudslides, because that part of Mexico away from the coast is pretty mountainous, so keep an eye out for that. Across the southern portions of Baja California, at 2 to 4 inches, isolated maximum amount of 6 inches. So the surf, Pamela is expected to generate surf that will affect portions of the southern Baja California Peninsula and southwestern and west central mainland Mexico by late Tuesday. These swells are likely to cause life-threatening surf and rip current conditions. Please consult products from your local weather office. I don't have storm surge totals yet, so I'll get those to you as soon as possible. But we're going to go ahead and first go to the tracks right here. This is why I'm covering Pamela right here, because 3 days later it's expected to come to the United States through Texas, give generally huge amounts of rainfall in this area right here, go really fast right into the, and just basically right into the sunset through Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, maybe Indiana, Wisconsin, maybe Michigan. We'll have to see at that point. So, yeah, now we're going to talk about the intensity, and this is the part I want to really talk about, because there's a couple of things that you need to see and I want to disclose. First thing is that the majority of the models agree it's going to be either a Category 2 or Category 3 hurricane right here. One model, the CTCI, has us jumping up to about 165 knots or so, up to basically a ridiculous Category 5 strength, which 165 knots is about 190 miles per hour, which at this point I'm going to say that's pretty outlandish right now, but right now is right now. I find it kind of interesting that Pamela is actually the replacement name of Hurricane Patricia back in 2015, which, if you're not familiar with, it was the strongest hurricane in the world with winds of 215 miles per hour, pressure was down to 872 millibars. So it was rivaling Typhoon Tip when it comes to pressure. It just blew Tip and Haiyan out of the water when it came to wind speed. Now, I want to make this very clear right now. I am not saying Pamela is going to be another Patricia. Yes, Pamela is the name that replaced Patricia back from 2015, and yes, Pamela is in the same general area as Patricia was, but I'm not. But at this current time, probably all the way to landfall, this thing, I'm going to say right now, this is not going to be another 200 mile per hour ridiculous intensity rate hurricane. I want to make that clear right now, because I do not want people to start panicking over this. I want people to remain calm, and I want people to act accordingly. There's a reason I have disclaimers at the beginning of these videos. It's because I am not responsible for what you do with the contents of this video, and I will not be held responsible if some mass panic happens. Alright? Okay, now back to the video, essentially. So yeah, the majority of models have this going up to Category 3. After that, it makes landfall, weakens considerably, so I can understand that. And there we have it right there. We're going to go ahead and go back to the, basically just the Pamelas right here. That was a little interesting right there. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and refresh the page real quickly. So yeah, it's still developing at this current time. It's still strengthening. I'm actually going to go ahead and pull up the visible shortwave. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, you can see that basically just the structure of a hurricane right there. I'll go ahead and go to the true colors zoomed out. So yeah, this thing's definitely developing at a considerable pace. And those minus 70s and minus 80s we saw earlier, like, I'll actually pull those up real quickly. Yeah, this is what we saw. They kind of fizzled out. We're going to actually go about 60 frames back. if this thing will cooperate with me. So yeah, this is where it was. It blows up to this, and then it just fizzles out. It's taking its time to organize, probably building eye wall, maybe an eye. So yeah, I'll be keeping a very close eye on Pamela right here. So yeah, this is gonna be an interesting thing to cover because this is the first time I've covered a Pacific hurricane. Hurricane. It's gonna be a hurricane at this point. It's a Pacific tropical cyclone. We'll just go ahead and say that. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting. So yeah, that's basically all I have for Pamela right here. So stay tuned for the latest updates. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more updates.